Hi, this is Les Nelson. Welcome to Live Well for Less, How to Buy a Car. Hi, this is Les Nelson with Live Well for Less again. Today I want to talk with you about buying a car. Now, it's important to understand that if you're going to buy a car, it's going to cost you money. There is no way to have a car that doesn't every year cost you money. I always say if I can get by with maintenance of under $2,500 a year, then I have a really good car. Most cars are going to cost way more than $2,500 a year to own. The main reason they're expensive to own is that you pay retail up front and then you take away the value of that car as it ages if you're going to resell it, and that'll give you part of the cost of owning it. And the other is the actual cost of taking it into the shop. Now, you're going to have tires. Tires wear out. You're going to have oil changes. You're going to have to do regular maintenance on your car. And also, if you own a car and it just sits still, it's still going to cost you. Cars deteriorate even when they're not running, and they lose value because they age. So you need to really think through whether or not you need a car for whatever it is that you have to do, whether it be work or leisure. So I encourage you to count the cost. Everything in Live Well for Less is about the cost-benefit analysis. Is it worth owning? It could be a very expensive endeavor if you don't use it a lot. So I would just say count the cost. All right, several things I want to mention about vehicles. One is that a car is only a vehicle to get you from point A to point B. Now, companies that sell cars want to make you think that if you buy a certain car, it's making you sexy or making you look successful or making you look really cool. But the reality is most of us need good, reliable transportation. Now, in my business, I drive 55,000 miles a year. If I buy a car that has a lot of sex appeal to it, it's going to cost me a lot up front, and by the end of 2 years, I'm going to have depreciated that car. It's going to have lost a lot of value by the time I'm ready to sell it or be done with it. Now, currently, this car that I've got behind me is a Buick Park Avenue. I bought this car on eBay, and I'm not afraid to buy cars online, and I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. But I want to mention the fact that a Buick Park Avenue is an old folks car, and it's not very sexy. Now, it's not that I don't want to drive a Camaro or drive a Mustang or something like that. It's just that if I pay up for that vehicle and then I pump a lot of miles onto it, it loses value. And I would rather use my money and in another way. And most of my clients, they're not that concerned if I'm driving a Mustang or whether I'm driving a Buick. I put a lot of miles on my vehicle, and by starting with a lower cost vehicle, it's not going to cost me as much per year. I encourage you to try to make a decision based on reason, not on emotion, and you'll buy a really good vehicle for a really good price. Another thing to understand about cars is that they have three major parts to their value. There is the exterior, the body, there is the interior, and there is the engine drivetrain, the engine and transmission. I always say if there are two parts of those three that are in good shape, really good shape, then it's probably worthwhile to look into because you can fix one and still come out ahead. But if there are any two of those three that are not in good shape, it's probably going to cost you more money than it's going to be worth to try to fix that vehicle. So when I look at a car, I look, how does the interior look? Is it clean? Is it torn, or are there tears in it? Is it dirty, really filthy, where it can't be, or worn, where it can't be simply vacuumed or shampooed to get back in shape? I look at the exterior. Is there rust on it? Because rust will not stop. Now, I'm not against rust if you don't need a car that looks decent for your work. And how about the engine and transmission? Are they relatively new? Have they been rebuilt recently? You can always get your local mechanic or someone you know to check it out for you and see if everything mechanically is running good on that vehicle. So those are the three aspects. Don't ever buy one that has two of the three that are in bad shape. It doesn't matter how good the deal is, it's going to cost you more than the car's worth to get it back in shape. Now this again is a Buick Park Avenue. It's 2004. I bought it online and it cost me $6,100 and it had 55,000 miles on it. Now that's pretty inexpensive, but I knew that there could be things that would be wrong with it because I was buying it from the East Coast and I had it shipped. So between shipping it and I had to have some repairs done to it when I got it here, I had to put about $2,000 in repairs on it. So it isn't the absolute best purchase I've ever made, but it is a really good car. It's got a lot of bells and whistles on it. And I looked at the sales sheet. Originally, this car was a $35,000 car. Now, I can drive this car and put another 150,000 miles on it because it has a good engine and transmission. And I can guarantee you it's going to come in at less than $3,000 a year to maintain. And that's what you want to do, is always buy a vehicle that's inexpensive to maintain. Okay, so when you find a car that you're interested in, don't get emotionally connected to it. Be willing to walk away from a deal, and also realize that whatever the asking price is, you can probably get that vehicle for 20% less than that. So go to eBay or go to findcars.com or go to autotrader.com and look at cars that are exactly the same or very similar to the car you're looking at, and see what the prices are in general for those cars with the same mileage on them. If you're looking at a car with 100,000 miles, it's a 2007 and it's a Chevy Malibu, and you've got a certain price that person's asking, look at that same car on autotrader.com and look at a bunch of them and see what they're selling for. It's not a great deal if they're selling it at the same price you can get it for. The goal is to get that car at a 20% discount, and then you've got a good deal on a car. Now, after Craigslist, there's some other places that I always look for cars. I always look on eBay. Even though you may not want to ship one for 500 miles, there may be cars in your area that are being sold on eBay, and that you may find one that's got a great price that's close enough for you to drive to. Another place that I'll look online is that the GSA Auctions, which is the government site for selling vehicles. GSA Auctions is a great place to find vehicles. You have to register as a user, and you can go and see what the government is selling in your area. Now, I used to buy vehicles from government auctions, but now a lot of people have found them and they're kind of spendy. So I haven't bought a vehicle from a government auction in a long time. Another thing to understand about government auctions is that the cars they buy do not have a lot of bells and whistles on them. So if you're looking for really cool add-ons, don't go to a government site. Autotrader.com, in our area, findcars.com. And then you may have a local place that is an auction house where the dealers clear vehicles when they have overstock on their lots. In our area in Minneapolis, we have KBid, which is k-bid.com, and I've got friends that have picked up good quality vehicles off of KBid. Now, the ones that they pick up were utility vehicles, vans for hauling equipment or trucks for hauling equipment. Not too many cars come through there that still have a lot of value left in them. One other thing I want to mention is in the last 15 years or so, the quality of cars has really gone up. So you can buy a car that has 100,000 miles on it, and it will still most likely give you another 100,000 miles if you take care of it, and if it's been taken care of already. Now, I find that that's where the price point really drops, is once one breaks 100,000 miles, the price is probably going to drop substantially. So you may be able to get a good deal on a car that's got 101,000 miles, and it's going to give you another 70 or 80 or 90,000 miles without a lot of problems. This vehicle I bought, it came with some problems. I had to have some adjustments done to it. I had to have some undercarriage work done on it. It did, however, come with really, really good tires, really good tread, that's a $600 value. And the engine and drivetrain were in great shape. So I'm hoping that it'll give me 100 to 150,000 miles. And when I get done with it, it will have been a great investment for my business.